EGM Network.
Treasure Coast Connector. Connecting residents and businesses of the Treasure Coast. And here's your host, Ellen Contreras.
Welcome to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras. This episode is partially sponsored by Libby Weissman and her team at SeniorTransitionNavigator.com and LuxuryHomesOfTheTreasureCoast.com. So Libby works with seniors, helping them make decisions, enabling them to live their best lives in their golden years. Services such as downsizing, decluttering, packing, moving, relocation, real estate sales, and more. For a consult with Libby, give her a call, 772-783-2800, or visit SeniorTransitionNavigator.com and LuxuryHomesOfTheTreasureCoast.com. All right, so working hard, saving money, building a legacy, and then passing it on to your loved ones, that's a lofty goal that most of us have, and there's a lot of moving parts to consider, and making one ill-informed decision could really significantly be a detractor for your nest egg. So now joining me in the studio today is Wes Harvin, and he is the senior partner of the Estate Trust and Elder Law Firm, a sixth-generation Floridian and Treasure Coast native. He's an expert in helping individuals and families protect what they've worked so hard to build. So now he's going to take some of the confusion out of things like estate planning, trusts, Medicaid planning, probate services, and elder law advocacy. Now, Wes and his team, they do help their clients navigate some of life's most important decisions. We have a lot to discuss, so welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yes, you've been on the show. I think this might be definitely your third, if not fourth time. And it's very important because of what we talked about before the show started. But one of the first things I wanted to ask is seniors. They're concerned about, of course, outliving their money and their assets. There's, the high cost of their care over the long-term or long-term care, because that is a type of insurance. But what are some of the most common misperceptions that people have about asset protection and even Medicaid planning?
Yeah, Medicaid's what we're talking.
Right.
When we're talking about long-term care, not Medicare. That's important, but it's different. Medicaid is where we go when we're looking at the type of care that goes from not just days, but weeks to months to years.
Yeah.
And depending on a loved one's diagnosis and medical position, that could be a very real care.
Oh, yeah.
And the average cost of 1 month of nursing home in the state of Florida is just under $11,000.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
A month.
That's significant, yes.
That's a lot, especially when care can go for months to years.
Yeah.
So confronting that is an important part of all estate plans. And it's an important part of what any good lawyer should do. The way that we should approach this is to say, how do we get a person or help a family get a loved one eligible for Medicaid? And the good news is that it's a lot more approachable than you think.
Okay.
A lot more approachable. The best way to start is by getting rid of some of those misconceptions. And here's the biggest one, and I will shout this from the mountaintops every chance I get. You never, ever, ever have to get rid of your home to get care.
Thank you.
In Florida.
Yeah.
That's a huge point. A person's home, and I see 2, 3, 4, 5 new clients a day, and the home is always a substantial portion of their estate, if not, in some portions, the majority of their estate.
Sure.
Giving that value to their family is a lifetime goal, and it breaks my heart when someone just heard something and makes them think, oh, I need to sell my home. Give my home away, become homeless to get care. And the truth is, that's not the truth.
Right.
In Florida, you can keep your home and still be eligible for the care you've paid into through your taxes your whole life.
I love that. So do not sell your home. Okay,
right.
I will just say, as the host of this show for the past 7 years, if you don't call Wes at this point, because I'm almost 60, so I'm thinking about these things. If you don't talk to Wes, you're just silly. And we're going to get through to his contact information in a minute. So now you have dealt, like you said, 4 to 5 clients a day. So that translates to countless families throughout the Treasure Coast that you've helped over the years.
Oh, yeah.
So now what are some of the most common estate planning mistakes that you have seen?
Sure. The one that leaps out every time is when someone comes to me and wants to do a last will and testament. And maybe they've put a lot of thought into this. Maybe they see their last will and testament as almost a balancing of their life, you know, which is an impulse I can understand. And you want to reward the places that have been important to you, the people that have been important. And, you know, and really make an impression. And I understand that. And I want to support that. But then we take the next step, which is to say, how are your accounts currently held? Because if an account is in joint names with someone else, it does not go through your will.
Oh.
It does not go through your will. I had a gentleman come to see me a couple months ago. Wonderful will, very giving, interested in all sorts of charities. You know, it would have made quite a statement that would be remembered after his passing. And then we looked at his assets. Everything was in joint names with his oldest daughter. And that's fine. That's okay if that's what he wanted. But he didn't understand that the consequence of that would be this beautiful, memorable will would have done nothing.
Wow.
Never would have even seen the light of day because his assets were all in joint names, and joint assets do not go through your will.
Okay. So, so you have already gotten the pulse rate of the listeners up, okay, of a lot of people listening to this. Okay, so now I want to move to things like estate planning, elder law, wills, trust, probate. When people hear these terms, they're not always sure what they mean. So now what I'd like to do before we go on the break is just talk about all the ways in which you help people, all the services that you offer.
Well, we start by helping people as they sit when they come to us. You know, I always joke with my clients, we're all still alive and we're all more or less of sound mind, right? So let's start with where we live, which is with the power of attorney and a healthcare surrogate. Power of attorney allows a loved one to help you if you, in your legal and financial shoes, if for whatever reason you can no longer sign anymore. And a healthcare surrogate does the same thing for your healthcare decisions. These two documents are effective immediately upon signing, and they help us right away. And they help us in a way that maybe we won't be able to help ourselves if something should happen. And those are two of what I call the big four.
Yeah.
A last will and testament is always helpful and necessary. But that's the thing about a last will is it's the last thing that your family sees. It doesn't really help us. And I want to help my clients before I help their families.
Okay.
So you put those three together, last will and testament, healthcare surrogate, and power of attorney.
Okay.
You've not only empowered yourself, but also your family to make sure that whatever care you need and however it needs to be provided,
They know.
it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those are the big three. Trust can be helpful and useful. They're a tool like anything else. Sometimes are great, sometimes not so much. It's something that we discuss on a confidential basis with our clients.
Okay. All right. I appreciate all of this. So now, you know what I think we're going to do? You know what we're going to do? We're going to do one more question before the break. Families during difficult times, like I was dealing with an aging mom, right? So probate matters, unexpected health situations. What can people do to be proactive, to reduce stress or even gain peace of mind before a crisis happens?
Sure. And that's exactly the time to do it.
Yeah.
That's exactly the time to do it. I cannot speak highly enough of getting the power of attorney and healthcare surrogate in place. And that's the funny thing about them is you sign them when you don't need them. You sign them when you don't even really necessarily want them. And I always tell my clients, let's sign it, and then I hope you never use it. Because that means you never got sick, right? You never got bumped on the head or anything, and you were just fine. That's what I want to hear. So that's the best time to do it, is when you think you don't need to do it. Can comfort and care be given to families later on their care path? Yes, they can. But the further it goes, the longer it goes, the more difficult it gets, the more expensive it gets.
Okay.
Best thing to do is just go to see somebody. And if you think you shouldn't, that's probably the best time to knock it out.
Okay, that's wonderful. So what we're going to do before we go to break is, your main office is in Fort Pierce, but you have multiple offices. So if you could share the phone number, the web address for the people listening on the radio and the podcast. That's
right. We have offices in Vero, Port St. Lucie, Stuart, and Fort Pierce. My phone number is 772-828-2588. My website for the Estate Trust Elder Law Firm is the initials, coming out as www.etelf.com. etelf.com, where our resources are. You can meet our staff, see our offices, and find out when our next talks are.
Wonderful. And with that, we have a lot more to discuss with Wes Harvin of the Estate Trust and Elder Law Firm. We'll be right back.
Tired of pool chores draining your weekend? Deja Blue Pool Service provides the expert skimming and chemical balancing you need for a crystal clear paradise. For Vero's most reliable professional care, Google Deja Blue Pool Service. Keep it clean, keep it blue.
Welcome to Riverside Theater's Comedy Zone, where the comedy is wild, untamed, and downright hilarious. Hit the zone this Friday and Saturday night at 6:30 and 8:30 for the Treasure Coast's best live stand-up comedy show, featuring nationally recognized comedians with cabaret-style seating and food and drink table service. Buy tickets at riversidetheater.com and get ready for a night of non-stop laughs.
Evergreen Media is your go-to for podcasting. Business owners, boost your brand by educating clients with your own show. Just show up. We handle everything else. Get your custom video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and more. Start today at egreenmedia.com.
Are you a therapist or a nurse seeking the multi-state compact license? In the state of Florida, these and many other industries require a Level 2 live scan background check for clearance to work in your industry. A1A Fingerprints is your certified live scan source from Broward to Brevard. And if you're a medical provider, you need to be registered on the ACA web portal. A1A Fingerprints will help you navigate and comply with the law. Call 772-494-6556 or visit a1afingerprints.com. A1A Fingerprints.
Welcome back to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras. I'm with Wes Harvin, and he is the president and lead attorney of the Estate Trust and Elder Law Firm, main office in Fort Pierce, with offices up and down the Treasure Coast. I want to jump into this. I always forget people's titles, but I'm going to just call you the head honcho of the estate, because I can get away with stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
But you do have a wonderful team behind you. But okay, so the education that we were talking about on the break, this is a very big thing for you. So you and your firm have put together a continuing series of in-person seminars. So can you tell us about them? How can people find out, sign up, that sort of thing?
Sure. This is my favorite part of the practice, really. I do it almost every week, several times a month. We give free educational seminars. And in all of the cities that we serve, Stuart, Palm City, Port St. Lucie, Vero, Fort Pierce, and we take not only give answers, but take questions, because I want people to get answers to their specific questions as much as I can, given the confidential nature of what we do.
Yeah.
But our website, our Facebook page, it gives the next several upcoming seminars. We have them chartered out for at least a year in advance. We also have a full seminar fully recorded, and we have the video on our website. So if you can't make it live, you can see what I say, and then give me a call and say, I have some personal questions as well, and I'd be happy to sit with someone.
Okay, so then the website, www.etelf.com, then the people can learn about the seminars.
That's right.
They can sign up for an email of future
That's
events.
right.
Okay, great. And then the Facebook page, which the link is on the website.
That's right. It's all there. Super simple. Super simple. We make it that way. I like it that way.
Yeah.
And that's something I hear a lot. A lot of people leave my consultation and say, that was easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Well, it really is. It doesn't have to be tough. You know, and I like to keep it. I love to hear that. I love to hear that.
And good, because there's a lot of people, like what I mentioned even before the show started. Maybe they have lost a spouse, they're getting remarried late in life, and then there's significant assets, and then there's children involved, and everybody's all confused. Emotions run high.
Oh, sure.
Yet when you sit down and talk with the two people involved, a lot of times they walk out super relieved.
Absolutely.
After,
Absolutely. Uncertainty causes stress.
Yes. The unknown.
The unknown causes stress. The goal of everything that we do, be it a health-related document, be it a funerary-related document, cremation, you know, whatever it may be, a trust, a will, and everything in between, is to bring certainty, predictability to what you want, you, the client. We do our best to make sure that that also makes everybody else in your family happy. And 99% of the time we do. We do. But at least we know, and you have certainty that what you want is what's going to happen.
Well, I really appreciate that. So now, as we look ahead to things that are happening in Florida and trends and challenges here with our seniors, is there anything that you're seeing that you would like them to, you know, pay attention to protect themselves?
Sure. The laws are changing pretty frequently.
Okay.
And so if someone has documents, and maybe they did a perfectly fine set of documents more than 5 or 6 years ago, it's definitely a good idea to have someone, you know, look at them one more time. You know, laws have changed, execution styles have changed, execution requirements have changed. So it's a good idea to make sure that we're updated. And especially when it comes to Medicaid.
Yeah.
You know, Medicaid is changing right now as we speak. A lot of those changes relate more to Medicaid recipients outside of, you know, senior population, but some of them do. Some of those changes do relate to us, you know, and our loved ones. And I love to sit down with a client and just say, okay, let's do the same type of analysis a Medicaid, you know, caseworker would do. Let's see where you stand, where the family would stand if something happened.
Okay. And then anything with, I guess, taxes and things, would that have any bearing on people making plans for their future?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Taxes, investment, interest rates. I mean, real estate prices going crazy up, and then all of a sudden starting to slide back down. These things have real consequences for our families.
So then you have that's a really good topic of conversation when people come to you, when they're thinking about how they're leaving things behind.
Absolutely, especially as is so commonly the case in a blended family scenario. You know, where you've got two people with kids with maybe from different parts of the country. You know, kids in different ages, kids from different families.
Yeah.
You know, making everybody feel included, but protecting the ones that provide care.
Oh, sure.
You know, is a common technique.
Yep. No, that's very important. I was just thinking about the fact that when my mom got older, I was here to care for her on the day-to-day. My brother was living in a different state, but he actually helped with some financial things. That was yeah. So the two of us had a blended way of looking after our mom, which was really nice.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it right there. Everybody can participate. Everybody can know, again, with predictability.
Yeah.
Who's going to do what and when.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so now if somebody is listening right now and they haven't updated their estate plan in years, or they have never created one at all, what would be the first few steps that you would recommend?
Okay. The first thing to do is to go ahead and make an appointment with an estate planning attorney. When you go, make sure that you know what you got. Do you have a home? Are you renting? You got a bank account? Who's on it? You know, just the basics, the essentials of your profile.
Okay.
And then And then, and this is the most important part. It's funny. Sometimes people come to me to do a will, and I say, "Oh, okay. If you should pass, who get your stuff?" They say, "I don't know. I hadn't thought about it."
Yeah,
I hadn't thought about it. When that's really the thing that only you can give me.
right.
Only the client can say who is going to take and participate from their estate.
Mm-hmm.
Be it a charity, or be it family, or be it their great uncle Petunia, or whatever it may be. It's all the same to me. But legally speaking, I want you to know that whatever it is that you really feel like is right, we're going to make happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you go to your estate planning attorney and you know who you are, what you got, and what you want to do, you're in a good place.
Very good. So then do you have a checklist that you provide, so that way somebody comes to you for a consultation for whatever it is?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a checklist so that they come prepared?
I do. I have a checklist that my office sends people, and we have a little instructional video, for people that like to watch a video, whatever it may be, on the basics of what we're going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So you can sort of do that thinking ahead of time. Makes things go a lot smoother.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So now, okay, we have a couple of minutes. So what happens if emotions run high in a certain situation, family situations?
Sure.
What have you done to help, or how can you de-escalate that? Have you ever been in a situation like that?
Constantly.
Okay.
Constantly. I'm in the courtroom a
Cindy's
lot.
snickering in the corner, and I'm thinking of a fist fight that I witnessed at a funeral of a friend. It wasn't my family, thank God.
Yeah.
What? So.
Yeah. I'm in the courtroom a lot. I do a lot of what we call senior exploitation defense work.
Okay.
A lot of that. So, sometimes people come down to visit mom or dad over the holidays, and they find out, oh no, what do you mean you deeded your home to the neighbor, or you gave $800,000 to the pool boy? These are real cases.
Wow.
That I'm telling you about. Yeah. And undoing the damage that causes to the family and defense of seniors is a big part of my practice.
Mm.
And the first thing I like to do is talk to everybody.
Okay.
I'd have a family meeting, either on the phone or on the internet, Zoom or whatever, or in my office.
Okay.
And say, look, guys, the one thing we can all agree upon, maybe there's two things we can all agree upon. Number one, that whatever your mom or dad wanted, that should be what they get.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing that everybody should agree upon is, no matter who they wanted to get the money, it's not going to be a lawyer, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But y'all keep fighting, it will be.
Nice.
It will be.
Yeah.
And,
So
there might be
stop
2 or
it
3
now.
kids now. Right.
Yeah.
There might be 2 or 3 kids now, but if we keep fighting, there's going to be another kid named Wes Harvin, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it shouldn't be that way.
Exactly.
It just shouldn't be that way.
Okay.
So let's try to avoid it. Let's come to a reasonable settlement here, a reasonable compromise, and give your parent the dignity that they deserve.
Okay. I really appreciate that, especially the elder abuse, because that's another practice area of yours.
Huge.
But Cindy said she's going to shut this show down because we only have a half an hour, 24 minutes and 50 seconds to be exact. But before we go, please share your contact information with our radio and podcast people.
You can find me at www.etelf.com or call us at 772-828-2588.
Okay, wonderful. And what I want to do is just say thank you again for Libby Weissman for partially sponsoring this, seniortransitionnavigator.com, luxuryhomesofthetreasurecoast.com, 772-783-2800. She's absolutely amazing. We have about 1 minute left. So I just want you to, seniors, get with Libby about making decisions to live your best life in the future. And you are on Libby Weissman's radar. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And the reason for that is she knows about you and your law firm. And
Great.
so she has empowering senior seminars. So she wants to have you on at some point in the future to talk to her people because it is a little bit scary when we are not fully protected. So thank you so very much for being on the show. This has been tremendously helpful to everyone listening and watching. My name is Ellen Contreras, host of Treasure Coast Connector. Till next week, I miss you already.